Hello everyone, my name is Marisol Oldwin. I am from Team 14 and I am here to present Bears Outdoor Team 14 project number 2. My team members are Kevin, Marla, and Alexander. I am here to give you all a little rundown of what we have so far for project number 2 regarding risk and sensitivity. As some of you might remember, Bears Outdoor is a company that gives customers an option of whether to rent or buy outdoor gear. We specialize in providing non-engine outdoor equipment such as kayaks, bikes, and canoes. Bears Outdoor is deciding on which bike to purchase in the event of prices go up or down. As we all know, the economy is changing drastically, and as a small business, we must prepare for what is coming. In project number 1, MADM project, we collected relevant data and used all the steps that allowed us to come up with a result of 4 choices. We have these 4 choices right here. Out of those 4 choices, we decided to choose 3 of those. In this chart that I am pointing to, you see the bikes, which are decision number 1, decision number 2, and decision number 3. And then you also see the state of natures on the right side, which is the prices of the bikes going up or the prices of the bikes going down. I also made a little chart here for S1 and S2. We made the assumption that the prices were going to go either up or down. This will affect our business in the long run, and that will affect the prices we pay for the bikes and how much profit we can make out of them. To the bottom left of the chart, you will see 3 options right here. We have the optimistic approach, the conservative approach, and a mini max regret approach. All of those have a definition on the side, which is basically just letting you know what those approaches are. So for example, the optimistic approach is the maximum. So we go to this chart and we see decision number 1, decision number 2, and decision number 3. We go to state of nature number 1 and we see these 3 numbers right here. So if we were to choose the optimistic approach, which is the maximum out of those 3 numbers, which one would we choose? We have 1,750, 1,800, and 1,579. Okay, if we are choosing the maximum, that means that 1,800 is the maximum out of those 3 numbers. And that's why you see it highlighted in red. So the optimistic approach, if we were to choose that one, we would be choosing decision number 2, the Frey, Minnesota, which is $1,800. Moving forward to the second approach, which that is the conservative approach. The conservative approach is the maximum of the minimums. So we are going to the bikes and the state of nature. We here added a little graph to the side, a little chart to the side showing the minimums of the graphs. So as you can see here, we have 1,750 and 925. Out of those 2 for decision number 3, which is the minimum? Of course, we are going to go with 925. So if we are going to decide to choose a conservative approach, which is the maximum of the minimums, we are going to go to this little chart and we are going to choose which one is the largest number. We have 925, 900, and 1,278. Okay, so if we were to choose a conservative approach, we would be choosing decision number 1, which is the co-op cycles. That is a minimum of $1,278. So for our third approach, which is a mini max regret, that is the minimum of the max regrets. So as you can see here, I am looking at the regret table, which shows the decisions and the state of natures as the prices of the bikes go up and the prices of the bikes go down. The max regrets are right here. The max regrets is basically just showing the 221, which is right here, 378 for this one right here, and 353. Basically, the max regret is looking at these 2 columns and choosing which one is the maximum. So of course, for option number 3, which is the trail number 5, we are choosing between 50 and 353. Which one of those is highest? That is 353. So we added those numbers and put it in a little chart right beside it. We labeled it max regret. So for approach number 3, which is a mini max regret, we have to choose the minimum of the max regrets. Here we have 353, 378, and 221. Which one is the lowest? That is 221. So if we were to choose approach number 3, we would go with option number 1, which is decision number 1, co-op cycles. Moving forward, we decided to create a decision tree using the DADM add-ins that we learned about in class. So as you can see here, it is decision number 1, decision number 2, and decision number 3. With all of those decisions, there is state of natures. As you can see, there's up, down for each of those decisions, with the possibility of 50%. So that means that the prices could go either up or down 50%. As you can see, we have a chance of 1,429 for decision number 1, which has a little green square. So that green square means that that is the best decision for this problem, according to the decision tree. We went ahead and made a decision-making method chart. We basically just copied and pasted it over here, but added a couple elements, as the expected value you see on the right and the maximum you see in the very bottom. So the decision tree allowed us to fill up this chart by giving us the expected value. As you can see here, let's see decision number 1. We have an expected value of 1,429. Now let's go to the decision tree and see what it has. 1,429. Now let's go to decision number 2, which is the Frame, Minnesota. For the Frame, Minnesota, we have an expected value of 1,350. All right, now let's go back to the decision tree, and it is an expected value of 1,350. In the very bottom, we have a maximum, and that allows us to see the maximum of the columns. So for this column, the bikes go up. For this column, the bikes go down. What is the maximum for those? For state of nature number 1, we have 1,800, which of course is decision number 2. And for state of nature number 2, which goes down, we have 1,278, which is decision number 1. The optimal decision strategy would be D1 with the perfect information. So for D1, we have co-op cycles, and then the expected value without the perfect information would be 1,539. On average, we would be making $110 more. That depends on the final decision of the business. All right, so we copied and pasted our main graph into a sensitivity analysis. As you can see here, we have our decisions, and then we have our state of natures. So the state of natures are that the prices of the bikes go up, and state of nature number 2 is the prices of the bike go down. As you can see, S1 equals P, and S2 equals parentheses 1 minus P. As you can see here, P is 0.5 and 0.5 here as well. So we use this information and created a possibility chart. So the possibility is 0 through 1, and we have the 3 decisions right here. We have decision number 1, decision number 2, and decision number 3. So for this, I thought it would be best to show you an example of how exactly it is on the chart. So I'm going to go with E14. As you can see here, E14, we have 1,278. Okay, so we say that this is our formula, which is equals P times payoff plus parentheses 1 minus P times payoff. So as you can see here, I went ahead and got this graph and just showed it to you. So 1,278, and I went ahead and did an example for E14, which is 1,579. So we are going to go to 1,579, and then we are going to times it times 0. Okay, and then we are going to add in a parentheses, and we're going to add 1 minus P, which is 0, times 1,278, which is the state of nature when the prices go down. So that equals $1,278. We went ahead and used all this information to insert a sensitivity graph. We used this chart and we went ahead and inserted a sensitivity graph, which allows us to see who has the highest expected value. So here we have 0 through 1, and throughout these numbers, you have a different high expected value. So let's say for 0.2, the highest expected value is the green line. What is the green line? The green line is decision number 2, which is the co-op cycle. We move forward to the blue line, which as you can see starts right here between 800 and 1,000 around this area, and ends up being the highest expected value at number 1. So number 1, highest expected value, is the line blue. Lime blue is decision number 2, which is the Frame, Minnesota. We are going to move forward to decision number 3, which is trail number 5. So at what percentage is the pink one the highest expected value? As you can see here, we start with 0 and it's not, and then we move forward to around this area and it's almost getting to there, but it's not there quite yet. So with that information, I leave you, my friends. I thank you so much for sitting through this video. I would appreciate any feedback. Thank you so much for listening.